For years, I've been telling you that Malaysia is a great business-friendly, affordable, pleasant place to live as a nomad capitalist, whether it's full-time or one of your bases in our trifecta approach. While I am looking for other places where I can spend time, do business, etc., Malaysia will always have a very important place in my life. Tax-friendly, great weather, Asia, peaceful people, nice people, not a bad option to have in your back pocket. Here's the deal. If you can put 6 figures in the bank, they'll give you a residence permit and you're off. There's not really a lot to do to maintain that. Residence permit facilitates my living in a country. Maybe there's tax benefits in that country, maybe I just want to live there part-time, full-time, whatever. Malaysia has an MM2H program. It's also rolling out its VIP program. That's a 20-year visa. The only difference really for people who don't want to be in Malaysia, they want to keep an option, is that the MM2H is going to require 90 days per year, whereas the VIP doesn't really require any time. You can add all your dependents, kids up to 21, parents, parents-in-law. You can even, as is the case with the MM2H program, bring a maid. You can bring the whole family and get this premium visa. You can study, you can work, you can invest. This is something that you can keep in your back pocket. I'm a big fan of back pocket residences. Not a bad deal. You can look at that as, hey, if I'm able to do tax planning and I don't have any tax exposure here because of Malaysia's friendly territorial system, and I have the opportunity to send my kids to study if that's important. If I want to do something locally with working, I can do that. In terms of government workers, I mean, they were some of the nicest people that you would deal with, and the processes really weren't that difficult. There was some running around to do. You have to know what you're doing, but it wasn't like intentionally bureaucratic. So I've been very happy with how I've been treated by them. I've always felt that they respected MM2H people. If you're a highly successful person and you don't mind, diversifying some cash into the Malaysian banking system, I think Malaysian banks generally, it's regarded, are pretty strong. You've got some really world-class banks there. I have a great relationship with a couple of my bankers there, and so I don't really mind parking the cash. I believe in diversification. I don't mind spending 90 days there. I'm happy to do that. Does the Condo Association of Malaysia care if you pay them from a Malaysian bank account or if the money comes through Wise? No, they don't care. The currency, has some ups and downs. So I think it's still applicable to 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs who are willing to spend time there. And hey, if you spend your more than 6 months there, then you've got a free tax residence and you can potentially pay as little as 0. I can go out and I can take some of the money that I'm making with a lower tax rate than I would have, much lower tax rate than in the United States. I can go and put that into buying housing, so I get rid of housing costs right away. Malaysia is a place to buy property for lifestyle. In my case, because I enjoy watching the opportunities, I see emerging economies as a great place to have a certain friction where I can learn more about myself by having more friction with the culture. I also see it as a chance to see how the world is developing. The country for me was always one of the most open in Asia. It's one of the about 4 countries in Asia where foreigners can buy land. And it sticks with the fact that Asia, from my perspective, has always valued wealth. Asia is, do you have wealth? Bring it here and then come in. So it's no longer going to be a back pocket option to keep just in case. It's going to be a thing where they want you to go and spend time. And for me, I'm personally happy to do that. I've always felt like, even though my tax situation in Malaysia is very friendly, I do contribute to the economy. I buy a lot of stuff at stores and that helps them. For me personally, it works. What's interesting is Malaysia actually has, in my opinion, some of the best deals on real estate in Southeast Asia, simply as a lifestyle. You can buy stuff in Malaysia for $1,500 a meter. And so that's a price based on buying a larger property, so you can still be paying a decent amount of money. You can really get American-sized housing for a very, very competitive price, even in some of the best areas that are maybe a little bit older, 10, 15 years, but you can buy some really large spaces at very low prices per square meter. My biggest property in Malaysia is about 3,300 square feet, kind of the size of maybe a little bit larger US house. And quite frankly, it's kind of nice. What Malaysia, the trend is a lot of these dual key apartments that people put on Airbnb. They're literally, the developers are working with the planners to develop more buildings where you can intentionally put them up on vacation rental sites. And so rather than being against people who want to increase yield through vacation rentals, they're basically saying, okay, let's not just create Airbnb inventory, let's create dual key Airbnb inventory. You watch Kuala Lumpur in the movies in the late 90s, you come to Kuala Lumpur now, it is dramatically different. And so because I can live anywhere I want, I happen to like the fact that Malaysia is a very well-developed place. Did a 4-hour drive recently, 0 potholes in the entire drive. I've been all over the cities of Malaysia. I haven't been on some of the back roads, but all over the cities, the places where you would go on any kind of basis, roads are impeccable, better than I would say where I'm from in the United States. I'm glad that you could go to Ipoh, you could go to Penang, you could go to Langkawi, and you could explore this big, beautiful country. There's cell service the entire way. There's places to stop and buy food. I mean, things just work as well as they would work in pretty much any developed country. I get health checkups. I like to be, have health care available to me, but I'm not doing intense medical procedures. Healthcare in Malaysia is very high quality. Everything just functions very well. If you're looking for good English, you will find better English spoken in Kuala Lumpur. You compare the Pavilion Mall, the Surya KLCC Mall, and the Petronas Towers to, let's say, the Dubai Mall. You're going to be understood more in Kuala Lumpur. The taxis, the Grab cars are not Lexuses, although you can get the same car the diplomats use. You can just pay a little bit more and you can get that car. It's going to be a lot less expensive. Indian food, one of the best cuisines in the world. I go to my little hole-in-the-wall Indian place that I've been going to for a decade. They know me, it's fantastic, and yet if I want to go and have a Five Guys hamburger and a milkshake, I can also do that. If I want to go to Nobu, if I want to go to a steakhouse overlooking the Petronas Towers, I've got the ability to dial it up and down. I can also eat in the street, and so I can figure out how much time I want to spend with locals. And so I'm a member of a club where it is largely locals. They are more upscale locals. I can go there, but I can also do things that I'm used to doing. People are super nice. I love Malaysia. I'm invested there. I'm renovating a property. To me, and from what I hear from people on the ground, the people have not changed. The people are some of the nicest people. And I will say this, if you were going overseas and you're going to go and look at all the countries that we talk about and then some, I've been to over 100 countries, what you realize is niceness is really important. People who are just genuinely kind people, that's important, and that can make a difference. And so Malaysia, very nice people, lots to do there, good taxes. From my perspective, I want to continue to have a place there. I want to continue to spend some of my time there, and I'm happy to meet the requirements. If someone doesn't like me because I live in Kuala Lumpur and they find that, tut, okay, that's cool. Like, I could afford to live in the other, but I think we have to prioritize what's most valuable to us. And for me, that's optionality. And for me, that's including optionality and having more money to invest into businesses, invest into other homes in other countries, or residences, or citizenships, or diversification, or buying companies, or whatever. Tying money up for one property at a much higher multiple, whether something almost is nice, to me is an easy choice there. I love the place, and that's my status on Malaysia.